Ladies and gentlemen, this is RetroYuuki Gaming News with a breaking story. For today, we are having the story about the day, and it is Microsoft and Activision win their case against the FTC. This has broken just a few minutes ago, and we will go right into the article from The Verge in just a moment. But first, let's take a look at the Twitter that confirms this story, and the Twitter it is very trending right now. Activision Blizzard is trending as we see this story by Charlie Intel breaking. Microsoft wins. Federal judge has denied the FTC's preliminary injunction, allowing Microsoft to acquire Activision Blizzard in the United States. However, there is still a case in the UK that they can close the deal to block. This still leaves the UK CMA to block to get through to the case to close the deal worldwide. So if with this going through, we have Xbox, Activision, Blizzard, and King all together in one family. That means Overwatch, Diablo, Call of Duty, World of Warcraft, Candy Crush, and StarCraft are all together one big happy family. And Dextero also breaks the story here. Microsoft has won its case against FTC and Activision, and several other sources of news has also broken the news as well. And I would like to present to you the article from The Verge, and then we're also going to take a quick look at the document, the court document that was just released yesterday. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Verge article first as we break the story. The headline reads, Microsoft wins FTC fight to buy Activision Blizzard. FTC versus Microsoft is over, and the judge has decided to deny the FTC's first injunction request. This was written by Tom Warren. A California judge, Judge Jacqueline Corley, is allowing Microsoft to close its acquisition of Activision Blizzard after 5 days of grueling testimony. Microsoft still faces an ongoing antitrust case by the FTC, but Judge Jacqueline Scott Corley has listened to arguments from both sides of the FTC and Microsoft and decided to deny the regulator's request for a preliminary injunction. In a ruling submitted today, Judge Corley said the following, quote, Microsoft's acquisition of Activision has been described as the largest in tech history. It deserves scrutiny. The scrutiny has paid off. Microsoft has committed in writing, in public, and in court to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation for 10 years on parity with Xbox, and made an agreement with Nintendo to bring Call of Duty to the Nintendo Switch, and then entered several arguments for the time to the first time being Activision's content to several cloud gaming services. The court's responsibility in this case is narrow. It is to decide if, notwithstanding these current circumstances, the merger should be halted, perhaps even terminated, pending the resolution of the FTC administrative action. For the reasons explained, the court finds the FTC has not shown a likelihood it will prevail on its claim on this particular virgin merger in this specific industry may substantially lessen competition. To the contrary, the record evidence points to the more consumer access to Call of Duty and the other Activision content. The motion for a preliminary injunction is therefore denied. We're going to take a look at that document in a bit as well. Judge Corley has clearly sided with Microsoft on its commitment to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation and extend the game to Nintendo Switch. Thank you very much. Despite the FTC's challenging Microsoft's cloud argument, Judge Corley took them into consideration in her decision. In a statement following Judge Corley's decision, Microsoft President Brad Smith said the company was grateful in the court in San Francisco for this quick and thorough decision, and I hope other jurisdictions will continue towards a timely resolution. On Twitter, Brad Smith says the following: We are grateful in the court of San Francisco for this quick and thorough decision and hope other jurisdictions will continue working towards a timely resolution. As we've demonstrated consistently throughout this process, we are committed to working creatively and collaboratively to address regulatory concerns. Vice President and Chair Brad Smith on Microsoft. Activision Blizzard has also reacted to this decision. Our merger will benefit consumers and workers, Bobby Kotick, Activision Blizzard CEO, and it said in a statement. It will enable competition rather than allow entrenched market leaders to continue and dominate our rapidly growing industry. End quote. The judge's ruling now allows Microsoft to close its Activision Blizzard deal ahead of the July 18 deadline, but only if the company is willing to close around the UK or if the Competition Markets Authority (CMA) is willing to negotiate some form of remedy. The UK regulator moved to block Microsoft's proposed acquisition in April, and Microsoft is currently appealing that decision with hearings set to start on July 8, 28. MLEX reported last month that Microsoft was exploring options to close the deal despite UK block, which in part spooked the FTC enough to request an injunction in the first place. The CMA also filed to try to delay Microsoft's appeal of its Activision Blizzard acquisition decision, with a request right in the middle of the FTC versus Microsoft hearing. The Competition Appeal Tribunal (CAT) shut that request down, as it would have pushed the appeal process from July to October, contrary to justice and fairness. The article continues. European regulators gave the deal a go-ahead in May, so Microsoft could now technically close without the UK and without an injunction in the US preventing it. That's a complicated scenario though, so we'll likely see Microsoft and Activision Blizzard temporarily extend their merger agreement to cover the CMA appeal process instead. The FTC will now have the chance to appeal Judge Corley's decision ahead of 11:59 p.m. Pacific time on July 14, but the regulator didn't appeal a court decision permitting Meta to acquire Within, so it may abandon the case by Microsoft and Blizzard instead. If the court order stands, this would be the second major loss for the FTC. Chair Lina Khan as the head of the regulator. Khan has been chasing big tech companies ever since he was confirmed as the head of the agency in 2021, and this is the court document, the entire court document that has been officially publicized, and I'm going to show you that in just a moment because this is now the public version, and I'm going to link you to all three sources: Twitter, this thing, and this thing, in a moment. And that's actually the entire article of The Verge. And now let's go ahead and read a little bit of the court document. This is the official court document that was publicized just a few hours ago. Just a few minutes ago, actually, as of the recording, 2307 minus 11. PI denial order FTC versus Microsoft Activision Blizzard public version. This was contributed by Florian Muller of FOSS Patents. Let's go ahead and read a little bit of this. I'm not going to read the entire thing. There's 53 pages. Okay? I'm going to read the conclusion statement. You can read this on your own. I'm going to link it to you in the description. Let's read. Conclusion. Microsoft acquisition of Activision has been described as the largest in tech history. It deserves scrutiny. The scrutiny has been paid off. Microsoft has committed in writing and public and to keep Call of Duty and Playstation for 10 years, on parity with Xbox, and made an agreement for Nintendo to bring Call of Duty to Switch, and it entered several agreements to the first time for being Activision's content to cloud save to several cloud gaming services. The court's responsibility in this case is narrow. It is to decide if notwithstanding these current circumstances, the merger has to be altered, perhaps even terminated, pending resolution of the FTC administrative action. For the reasons explained, the court finds the FTC has not shown a likelihood it will prevail on its claim. This particular vertical merger in the specific industry may substantially lessen competition. To the contrary, the record evidence points to more consumer access to Call of Duty and to other Activision content. The motion for primary injunction has therefore been denied. The opinion constitutes the findings of the fact, conclusions of law required by Federal Rule of Civil Procedure 52. Given the process of the court has issued written in light of a pending termination date, there will be likely errors in citations. And all this good stuff right here. And it is so ordered, as you can see, Judge Jacqueline Scott Corley has officially signed, dated July 10, 2023. That was yesterday, but the document officially opened today. And that is officially the case of FTC and Microsoft, at least for now. As the words mentioned, there is going to be another hearing in July 28. That is for the UK side of the Competition and Markets Authority. I may or may not cover that. We'll see if I'm going to go round 2. But as far as round 1 is concerned, congratulations, Microsoft and Activision. Well deserved. I cannot wait to see Nintendo Switch get Call of Duty and all that good stuff. That is the news for now. That is breaking news. So Microsoft Activision is versus FTC is over, round 1. Round 2, July 28. And that is it for now. We'll be back with our regularly scheduled commentaries in a moment. For now, that is it. We'll see you guys later today for our official commentaries for today. Enjoy and congratulations, Microsoft and Activision.